Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Tuning In, Learn to Be Your Own Psychic, where we move one episode at a time away from the need for external validation and towards strong, confident trust in our own intuition. You guys don't need psychics, you are psychic. This week, we are expanding on neutrality and diving deep into radical acceptance. What it is, why it's the first step, and how it leads you to radical authenticity. This is where true power begins. When we fully embrace radical acceptance, we step into alignment with our manifestations and our higher self. Radical acceptance is square one. It's the beginning of the journey. It's the first step. The reason this is so crucial is because you cannot work with or through something that you deny. It is super important to be able to accept where you are and how you feel without judgment. It is what it is more than placation. It's the beginning of empowerment, the foundation of real change. It is the point where you surrender to what you can't control and gain control over what you can. With radical acceptance, there's no judgment, there's no criticism, there's no resistance. There's only clear and objective acceptance of the reality of your present moment and the only path to true empowerment. Now, radical acceptance doesn't mean you like or approve of what's happening. It doesn't mean you have to commit to suffering or pretend that you aren't feeling any impact, especially something painful. It means acknowledging reality as it is. Without resistance means without needing it to be different before you allow yourself to move forward. And I will not lie to you, this is hard. The mind wants to control. The ego seeks to protect. And when we accept something as painful, we tend to feel like we're giving up that control. We think we can resist reality with enough force that we can avoid acceptance. And if we hold on tightly enough, if we search for answers long enough, if we find the magical why, we can change what's already happened. But all that does is keep us trapped. Radical acceptance is about releasing the fight of something you can't ever actually fight. Surrendering to what you cannot control. It's about looking at exactly where we are. It's about looking at things exactly as they are and making a conscious decision to let go of resistance. Only then can we step into our heart, into our power. I like to reference an old Abraham Hicks analogy here. To oversimplify it, it is about flowing with the stream and not against it. It's a great listen. The general idea is that it's not about the fight. The virtue is not in the struggle. It's all about radical acceptance and eventually self worth. If you don't accept where you are when you put the canoe in the stream and agree to go with the flow of the stream, you will paddle upstream and disempower yourself with resistance. If you do not accept where you are without judgment, without resistance, and agree to go with the flow of the stream, you will get stuck in your own river. Radical acceptance is not about waiting for change to come. You have to accept what is and then move to make change. You have to accept where you are, drop the oars, and surrender from resistance and trust in the flow. Because as they say in the story, the river is not a Disney ride. You can't stop it or change its direction. You can, however, choose how you navigate it. But this is where many of us struggle. One of the biggest obstacles to radical acceptance is the need for closure. I know a lot of us struggle with the need for closure. I see it all the time. But the closure you are looking for, the need to answer questions we think are significant, like why, and the need to tidy up the ending is rooted in a lack of self worth and the ties we create to external validation. We must decondition this reflex. We do not ask the ant why it bit us. When we ask why, we get stuck. We get stagnant in the pain and focus on information that we may never get. And even if we did, would it really even help us? No. When the ant bites us, we simply accept that it bit us. We remove the ant, squeeze out the poison, and heal the wound. This is the closure we need, not the answer, but the healing. And this is why, and if you know me at all, you know I talk about this adamantly. The yes no oracle epidemic and collective readings are so dangerous. They are quicksand for your journey. They are spiritual junk food. They offer momentary satisfaction, false comfort, and no real nourishment. And they're addicting. This is why, and be honest with yourself, you don't take the first answer you get and go about your business. This is why you seek one answer after another, because you don't even believe the answers that you're getting. You don't trust it. But you shouldn't anyway, because we are not meant to live by oracle. We are meant to navigate our own lives, our own experiences guided by our intuition and moving towards our highest excitement with inspired action and no attachment to the outcome, especially the how or when. So the answer is not more yes, no, and collective. It's less. It's none. It's stop investing in those and start investing in yourself, beginning with radical acceptance. We don't need to answer if they are coming back. If they are gone, the biggest favor you can do yourself is to accept the cold, hard truth of that so that you can start to heal yourself, because they are not your concern. They are their concern. You are not their concern. You are your concern. So why is not important. Acceptance without judgment is. When you are stuck on why, challenge yourself. Refocus your thought process and modify your phrasing. Instead of asking why, make a statement, a declaration, if you will. Change why with this happened and I didn't like it, or this hurt me. So when you find yourself asking something like, why did they hurt me? Shift your words and instead make a declaration. I don't like that they hurt me, or they hurt me and I am struggling with that right now. If you make it a declaration instead of a question, you can accept it as fact and not something that needs an answer. You can prevent yourself from opening yourself up to search for an answer you will likely never get. And quite frankly, you don't need to know in order to empower your healing. Now, radical acceptance wasn't invented yesterday. It's not a year old. It's not a new concept. It is a principle found in spiritual traditions across time, including Buddhism. In Buddhist philosophy, suffering doesn't come from what happens to us, it comes from our resistance to what happens. We suffer not because of the pain itself, but because we refuse to accept it, because we resist it. This ties directly into what we've already discussed with the Abraham Hicks analogy, who was actually working with the concept of the law of attraction. You see how they overlap. Resistance is what traps us, what holds us in suffering longer than we need to be there. When we paddle upstream, when we fight against reality, demanding that it be different, we exhaust ourselves without actually changing anything. We don't make any changes and we get hella tired in that space. Buddhism teaches that freedom comes when we release attachment, when we stop clinging to should haves and what ifs. And that's exactly what radical acceptance is. Doesn't mean we don't take action. It means we stop fighting a battle that was never winnable to begin with. And instead, we step fully into our power by accepting what is and deciding how to move forward with that reality. Another part of this empowerment puzzle is energetic alignment, which leans back into the law of attraction. You like these full circles, don't you? In addition to radical acceptance, it is important to focus on what you do want and not what you don't want. This is where seemingly minor habits like gratitude can have a profound impact on your energetic output and alignment. But alignment isn't just about what you focus on, it's about how you show up in your life. And a major intentional habit is authenticity of the radical kind. Radical authenticity is to have the all caps audacity to be unapologetically you. Obviously, this too begins with radical acceptance and it ends with you manifesting in alignment with your highest good. So, what the hell does that mean? And why is it so hard? Well, I'm glad you asked. When you are in radical authenticity, you are brave enough to stand secure in your personal integrity. You refuse to betray yourself and you honor yourself at all times. You unwaveringly own your truth. You diligently own your values. You hold space for your true self in every environment, in every circumstance, in every interaction with every person. There is no concession. There is no shrinking, no dimming, no masking, no acquiescence, no appeasements for the sake of others. You must find mind, body, and soul alignment. You must find physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual alignment. Alignment with your higher self is directly proportional to alignment with your highest good. Authenticity is the highest vibration, it is higher than gratitude. Radical authenticity is the energetic frequency of true manifestation. Why is it so damned hard? Well, for starters, because it is fueled and supported by self worth. There is a heaping healthy level of self love, of unconditional love, and of self worth required for you to work within this energy. And while you can grow each in pieces at a parallel, you cannot stand in your radical authenticity without self worth. It is liberation. But before it feels like freedom, it will feel like a fight. Make no mistake, the fight is more than worth it. We are conditioned, trained even, to concede and compromise ourselves in some way for the sake of others. We are taught to forego autonomy to show respect to authority figures. We are taught to concede or perform to gain approval, validation, and safety. We are conditioned to measure our own worth by how much we contribute, achieve, and or how hard we work. We are taught that we have to work hard to earn what we receive. We are conditioned to fear rejection and judgment because we tie our value to external validations. So we worry. What if they don't like me? The cold, hard truth is not everybody's going to like you. But you don't like everyone either, do you? And that's okay. See that radical acceptance? This is a function of alignment. Radical authenticity is magnetic and will call in what is truly yours. But when you hide or shrink or concede, you don't just block your blessings, you pollute your own energy. You attract what was never meant for you in the first place. This is how the law of attraction comes into play on both accounts. Your energy output is a conversation with the universe. You get what you put out. Firstly, what you focus on matters. What you focus on is the energy you are putting out for. You're window shopping, and the universe is watching you window shop. And the universe is like, oh, look, they're staring in that window at that thing. And it's going to go in that store and it's going to get that thing you're staring at and it's going to surprise you with it. It doesn't know that you don't want it. You're staring at it. So be mindful of what you are window shopping for. And then there is the energy you vibrate at. The closer you are to radical authenticity, the more clearly the energetic conversation you are having with the universe. So, what comes back to you is in alignment with who you truly are, not who you wish you weren't. For what you truly want and not for what you don't. You manifest from your frequency, not from your words. This is a key thing to understand. A lot of people use affirmations when they are trying to manifest. Affirmations do not manifest for you. They can help you train your mindset to make adjustments on your focus, but the words don't manifest. The energy does. It's all about alignment. When you show up as anything other than your authentic self, you will align energetically with whatever that energy is. If it is smaller, dimmer, hidden, or a put on version of you, you are window shopping in that energy, and the universe will see you in that energy because it is not authentically you. What you get will not align with your authentic self, with your highest good. The radicals are about releasing resistance and energetic alignment. Radical acceptance removes resistance. Radical authenticity aligns you to your highest path. When you are in the energy of both, you are aligning with your highest potential. Now take a minute and let this soak in, because I want you to think. I want you to really, really think about how you can be intentional about how you show up for yourself within the concepts of radical acceptance and radical authenticity. Think about how you can be intentional about taking those first steps towards empowerment. Do you prefer to move in flow and be your most authentic self? You may not. It might be too uncomfortable. It might be too difficult. Understood. You may want to and may not be ready yet. You may be ready. That might be your preference. Now is the time to think on that. Remember, the universe is responding to you. So, how are you choosing to show up? Be brave, be true to yourself, be unapologetic, be magnetic, be you. Y'all, I felt pretty passionate about this one this week. I hope you found this information helpful. I hope you found it empowering. I hope you can take it and help build your own truths with it. Take what resonates, as always. If you need any additional information on any of these concepts, plus many, many more, I have Truth Seekers Guides on sale on my website. My website is rickyray.com if you want to come see all the good things I have available. But that's going to wrap it up for this week. I want to tell you all that I love you all so much. Thank you so much for hanging out and tuning in with me, and we will see you next week.